Please be seated. Good afternoon. We gather here today in order to recognize the outstanding accomplishments and scholarly achievements of our underclassmen. The conferring of scholastic awards is a tradition that dates back to the 18th century. The Phi Beta Kappa Society is the oldest academic honor society in the United States. It was founded in 1776 during the Revolutionary War at the College of William and Mary, the alma mater of Thomas Jefferson. The society was named after the initials in the Greek motto, meaning love of learning is the guide of life. According to historical records, Andrew Wilson, Kiski's founder, presided over the school's first academic award ceremony in 1902. That program included musical offerings, athletic and academic recognitions, speeches, and recitations. In modern times, Kiski's Honors Convocation is focused on acknowledging students for their exceptional work and efforts within and beyond our classrooms. Today's program begins with remarks by this year's student speaker, Bryant Garcia. Bryant's 4 years at Kiski have been distinguished by academic excellence and exceptional achievements. He's impressed our entire school community with his scholarly talents, and we've all come to appreciate his unique sense of humor. In the fall, Bryant will be attending Harvard University. We'll certainly miss him here at Kiski, but we know he'll go on to accomplish great things. It's my pleasure to introduce this afternoon's student speaker, Bryant Garcia.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this year's Honors Convocation. Before I start, I'd like to give thanks for being able to speak in front of you, and I'd also like to thank those who helped me to get to where I am standing right now. If I tried to list those names, well, then I'd spend the entire afternoon rambling. So, in the interest of time and my feet not hurting, I won't name them all. Some of you are here, some of you are not. But regardless of your physical location, without you, I couldn't stand here today. Without your guidance, support, and love. And I thank you for that. So now, yes, the main reason why they told me to speak in front of you guys, a speech. These types of speeches are often meant to be dramatic, with orchestral music playing aloud on some audio system, and the speaker giving an emotional talk about how the world is changing, how we are completely prepared to lead the future and make the world a better place. And that statement right there, that's where I stand corrected. The reality is that at Kiski, we're encapsulated in a small bubble. While we continue to study, play sports, and continue our lives here, the world keeps revolving, with new problems and conflicts arising every day. One of the main reasons why we are here is so that we can focus on our studies and to limit our exposure to the conditions of the outside world. For us seniors, yes, we may be off to college or the Navy or somewhere within the next couple of months, but we're just moving into a new bubble, a bigger bubble, still shielded from the outside world. I'm not saying that our lives are perfect either. We too face personal struggles every day, ranging from family troubles to self-confidence. Name it. There's probably someone who has that issue right now. With all of this in mind, it seems almost impossible to find something positive for life. Notice how I said almost, not definite. While, yes, as we grow up, there will always be new struggles and burdens. As long as there is that glimmer, that twinkling speck of hope that slowly draws closer to your spirit, and there's still a reason to persevere. If that dream of a better future within you is still there, then there will be a chance for things to get better. So, that would be my first recommendation. Look for the positive things, even if there are times where we don't feel the best. Having a bad day is an inevitability for every person, especially if you're Jack McNamara. But if you've had a rocky day, I challenge you to find one, just one, positive event that happened that day. Maybe someone held open the door for you. Maybe it's your parents, a sibling, a friend, or a significant other, sending you a cute cat video or meme. Admit it, you've seen it at least once, and you can't deny how amazing baby animals can be. Or maybe it's just sitting down to play video games with your best friend after not seeing them all day. Regardless of specifically what that thing may be, just appreciating the small things that happen to you can make even the worst days just a bit better. Now, you may ask me, Brian, that sounds all dandy and well, but how am I supposed to be optimistic if I haven't done anything with my life? My answer to that? Of course you've done something. You've made it here. To put this into perspective, you have found your way into a boarding school whose population is nearly 25% the size of the neighboring town. It takes a half-hour drive to get to the nearest large town, and an additional hour to get to the city of Pittsburgh. Whether you've come up from poverty or were able to forge your education, whether you were recruited or you just signed up, you have made your way to where you are today. And if we've already made it this far, there's no stopping us from all the good things that we can do in the future. Oh, Bryant, but what if I'm not a super genius or ultra athlete? Well then, so what? Who said that you needed to earn a 4.0 GPA in all advanced classes to receive a good education? Who said that it was necessary to qualify for states if you only began the sport a couple months ago? In fact, a kid like Christian Condi, who spends his free time knitting in preparation for teaching young children in the summer, is also amazing. Or even Aaron Zhao, who spent his tenure, has helped his community from being a prefect to chatting with senior citizens, to helping the local Catholic Church make fish fry every Friday during Easter, to spending his entire day on one Saturday in order to learn how to administer CPR, while making some good friends in the process. You have just as much potential as the person beside you to make an impact on the world. This now leads me to my final point. Every one of us has that potential to make an impact on the world. Before you ask, I know it may seem rather odd that young teenage boys can make a difference if we don't even know what to do with ourselves. The thing is, we don't really need to have our lives figured out in order to do good things. Japanese pianist Ryo Fukue, man who twiddles with the rhythm and chords out of thin air, did not know how to play the piano until he was 22. Claire Barton, founder of the American Red Cross, did not create the organization until her 40s, in an era which the popular belief was that women were lesser to men and were not given access to even the most basic of civil liberties. So, there's still plenty of time. However, we don't need to worry if we don't know what we're going to do with our lives. What you don't need to do is to figure out your calling by the end of high school. It's a giant leap forward deciding your future when only yesterday you had to ask permission to go to the bathroom. However, in the back of our minds, we need to know that what we can do is a great deal with our lives. What we choose to do is entirely up to us. So, that's it. That's my speech. Not done yet, but anyways. Feel free to interpret it how you see it. That's the thing with language. I can say the same exact thing over and over, and yet what remains with one person will never be the exact same as to another person. In less than a week, this campus will be empty and its students will be scattered about. And especially for the seniors, I'm not sure when we'll ever see each other again. I can't tell the future, unfortunately, but whenever that time may be, when we meet again, it'll be good. I wish you all the best in finals, and whatever you do after that. Freshmen, 3 years is going to pass by a lot faster than you think. Sophomores, you may have 2 whole years here, but you still aren't the top dogs yet, and have much to learn. Juniors, now, while your classes technically means that you're the mini versions of us, as we head off to next year, it'll be your time to step up and run things. And seniors. Seniors. We're only days away from graduation. That's going to be it. Probably never see each other again, but I have confidence that you guys will do well, whatever you do. Let's finish this off on a high note. It's been fun being with you all, and I hope you the best in whatever you may do. Thank you for your time, and enjoy the rest of tonight.
Thank you, Bryant. Good afternoon. I'm Brendan Moriarty, the Director of Studies. We are gathered here this afternoon to reenact a very old academic tradition, the conferring of honors to scholars. We encourage and require our students at Kiski to take part in many activities, both extracurricular and social. These are very important, but we must never lose sight of the primary objective of the school, and that is scholarship. We are recognizing achievement today. Only those who have attained academic excellence through honest hard work know what the genuine rewards are. I'd like to introduce Megan Neumeister, Secretary of the Kiski Chapter of the Cum Laude Society, and Brad Kwiatek to the stage for the induction of the newly elected members of the Cum Laude Society.
At this time, I would like to invite the seniors who were inducted into the Cum Laude Society last year to join me on stage. Benjamin Crew, Bryant Garcia, Aidan Gillespie, Minxua Wang, and Hanqing Zhao. The object of the Cum Laude Society is to promote learning and sound scholarship in secondary schools. The word cum laude form a Latin phrase meaning with high praise. The society was founded in 1906 by Dr. Abraham W. Harris of the Tome School in Maryland to recognize students of exceptional scholarship and good character. Kiski's original chapter of the Cum Laude Society was established in 1951. The criteria for admissions of students to the Cum Laude Society is based on academic excellence, scholarship, and love of learning, consistency in performance with special attention to achievement in grades 11 and 12, degree of difficulty of course load, and character, honor, and integrity in all aspects of school life. The motto of the society is Arete Dike Time, the Greek words for excellence, justice, and honor. Arete includes the concept of excellence in the moral sense and is not limited to the ideal of superiority in scholarship, nor does it involve the endeavor of competing primarily for academic goals. Dike includes the concept of what is suitable and appropriate, as well as just. Time includes the concept of dignity and truth, as well as honor. This afternoon, members of the class of 2019 and the class of 2020 will be inducted. As I read your name, please come forward and join us on stage. From the class of 2019, Edgard Mercado, Heoran Mo, Noe Reyes Matos, and Jason Stewart. From the class of 2020, Ryan Pettis, JP Swazi, Hao Xian Wu, Tian Yang Zhu, and Gao Yang Zhang. Your distinguished record has won you membership in the Cum Laude Society. The Society is a fellowship of scholars whose purpose is to recognize excellence in academic work. As you pursue your education, it is our hope that you will accept the honor of membership in the Society as a responsibility to make a contribution to the ongoing search for greater understanding of humanity and society. In testimony of your admission to the Cum Laude Society, by the authority of the society duly granted, we now present each of you with a certificate of membership and the key of the society.
I would like to invite Sandy Ackward, Director of Community Service, to present the Colonel Dobbs Society Awards.
The Colonel Dobbs Society recognizes those students who have demonstrated an exemplary commitment to community service during the school year. The society is named in honor of John J. Dobb, Kiski class of 1901. After graduating from Princeton, Colonel Dobb returned to his alma mater and served the school for decades as a beloved teacher of English literature, dormitory master, and briefly as headmaster. He left Kiski only twice to serve in the First and Second World Wars. His commitment to serving his country, his school, and the greater community form the ideals and principles of the Colonel Dobbs Society. Today, we are pleased to recognize a number of students who have engaged in exceptional service to the community by logging over 30 hours individually and formally induct them into the Colonel Dobbs Society. This year, the Kiski students have performed 3,148 hours of community service. As your name is announced, please join me on the stage to receive your pin. And we'll wait until everyone is on the stage before we acknowledge their accomplishment. Timmy Allshouse, Kanan Blackwell, Tim Bergartz, Christian Conde, Nick Darrington, Bryant Garcia, Eric Gary, Patrick Jacob, Corbin Kohut, Paul Lee, Grant Lumley, Max Mears, Ben Nauenberg, Ryan Pettis, Chris Rubino, Bryce Sacre, Pedro Silva, Alex Stewart, Quinn Summers, JP Swazi, and Elliot Zhang. Please join me in congratulating the new members of the Colonel Dobbs Society.
I will now present several certificates of merit and recognition of student achievement in the sciences and humanities. One procedural note, students earning awards should rise and enter the stage to my left, receive the award, and exit the stage to my right. The Frederick Douglass and Susan B. Anthony Award in the Humanities and Social Sciences is attained by a member of the junior class in recognition of outstanding academic achievement and superior intellectual promise in the humanities and social sciences. This year's Humanities and Social Sciences Award is presented to J.P. Swazi. Congratulations, JP. Thank you, sir. Well done. The Xerox Award for Innovation and Information Technology honors students for their outstanding achievement in the pursuit of innovative approaches and their appreciation of the possibilities of technology. This year's Xerox Award is presented to Nick Darrington. Hey, Nick. Congratulations. Well done. The Bausch and Lomb Award is given to that member of the junior class in recognition of outstanding academic achievement and superior intellectual promise in the field of science. This year's Bausch and Lomb Award is presented to Haotian Wu. The George Eastman Young Leaders Award is presented to a member of the junior class who has shown outstanding school leadership as well as academic achievement. This year's George Eastman Young Leaders Award is presented to Patrick Jacob. It is important to note that the Humanities and Social Sciences Award, the Xerox Award, and the Young Leaders Awards include a scholarship totaling $30,000 over 4 years to the University of Rochester, if the students apply and are accepted to the university. The Rensselaer Medal was first presented in 1916 with two purposes: to recognize the superlative academic achievement of young men and young women, and to motivate students towards careers in science, engineering, and technology. The medal is awarded to promising secondary school juniors who have distinguished themselves in mathematics and science. This $15,000 per year merit scholarship is guaranteed for 4 years for each medalist who applies, is accepted, and chooses to enroll at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. This year's Rensselaer Medal recipient is Haotian Wu. The Inventionland Institute's Certificate of Excellence is given to those students that exemplify the highest levels of innovation and engineering in the creation, design, and marketing of an original problem-solving invention. This year's recipients are recognized for their invention of the Dream Spin Bedside Caddy, a nightstand organizer with the ability to spin a full 360 degrees that keeps your belongings safe and accessible. The Inventionland judges commended the team on their exceptional product sample and cohesive professional presentation. Their trophy is on display in the Student Center. Congratulations to this year's recipients, Vasya Panza, Eric Humphreys, and Ben Crew. Congratulations. Thank you. Well done. Congratulations. One of the requirements for graduation includes a research project which is undertaken during the junior year. The process begins in September when English classes choose topics to explore in their papers. Outlines, bibliographies, note cards, and rough drafts are due periodically throughout the year. The final drafts are graded and stored in the school archives. The English department considers all of the completed papers, and one was chosen to receive recognition at this evening's assembly. Our underclassmen award this year goes to J.P. Swazi for his paper entitled Why More Gun Control is a Mistake. Congratulations. I would now like to introduce Mark Novum, our Associate Headmaster.
For years at Kiski, we have recognized seniors at the end of their Kiski careers for their achievement in individual subject areas. These prizes are given out at the Senior Awards Banquet the night before graduation. Since 1988, Kiski has recognized underclassmen for its outstanding achievement. The department chairs will present this year's Academic Achievement Awards. When your name is announced, please come to the stage, entering from my left and departing my right. Please hold your applause until the department finishes reading the names. Our English Department Chair, Brad Kwiatek, will announce the English Department Awards.
The English Department Achievement Awards go to freshman Timmy Allshouse, sophomore Cato Legaspi, and junior Quinn Summers.
Our Fine Arts Chair, Andy Scott.
The Freshman Art Award goes to Nicholas Bausto, and the Junior Award goes to Darcy Marshall. If you could come up.
Our World Language Chair, Mark Orsatti.
Excuse me. The World Language Achievement Awards go to freshman Alex Figueroa in Spanish and Jordan Graham, Chinese. Sophomore Caleb Leachock in Spanish and junior Ryan Pettis in Spanish.
Our History Department Chair, Vince Kwiatek.
The History Department Achievement Awards go to freshman Bob Burr, sophomore Aku Black, and junior Elliot Zhang.
Our Mathematics Department Chair, Marcus Muster.
The Mathematics Achievement Awards go to freshman Jacob Hintermeyer, sophomore Chantal Zhu, and junior Bobby Wu.
Our Science Department Chair, Doug Yoder.
This year, the Science Department Achievement Awards goes to, from the 9th grade class, Jonathan Van Nostrand, from the 10th grade class, Antonio Delasio, and junior Charles Zhu.
Mr. Bruningston will now present several named awards.
The Blake Hamill Award is given in memory of Joseph Blake and John Hamill, members of the class of 1971 who perished in an automobile accident on the eve of graduation in 1970. The following year, this award was established to recognize a junior of special promise who best exemplifies the spirit of Joseph Blake and John Hamill. This year's award is presented to Patrick Jacob. The Bortz Improvement Award are given to a sophomore and a junior who've shown marked improvement throughout the year in academics, athletics, and extracurricular activities. I'm pleased to present the Bortz Sophomore Improvement Award to Chris Pierce. The winner of the Bortz Junior Improvement Award is Carl Capadia. The Matthias Award is given to a member of the junior class who and at all times displays chivalrous conduct on the athletic field as personified by Olympic gold medalist Robert Matthias, class of 1949. This year's award is presented to Micah Tillman. The King Award is given in loving memory of Coltart King, class of 1970, to that member of the junior class who has earned the highest scholastic average. This year's winner is J.P. Swaza.
Each year, we recognize those students who have achieved high honor status consistently for the school year. I'm going to call their names by class, and please come to the stage for your certificate. Seniors, Ben Crew, Bryant Garcia, Aiden Gillespie, Edgar Mercado, Vasia Panza, Noe Reyes, Mishwin Wong, and Han Qing Zhao. Juniors, Kobe Schwartz, Joseph Swazi, Hao Tian Wu, Tianyang Zhu, and Gao Yuan Zhang. Sophomore, Cato Legaspi. Freshman, Timothy Alshouse, Robert Burr, Alex Figueroa, and Jacob Hintermeyer. I would like to introduce Ryan John, Director of the Kiski Leadership Institute for Boys, to announce the Leadership Awards.
The leadership program provides opportunities for our students to practice the important skills of problem solving, team building through activities that are planned throughout the year, and also encourages our students to display a strong sense of character in everything that they do. It is my pleasure to recognize the students that have distinguished themselves in this capacity through the 2018-2019 school year. Please come to the stage, 9th graders Noah Bowl and Amani Clark Bay, 10th grader Caleb Leachawk, and 11th grader Ryan Pettis. I would like to introduce Carla Ross, Director of Equity and Inclusion, to recognize this year's Culture Pot leaders.
A Culture Pot leader's job is to help our community, peers as well as faculty and staff, have a greater understanding of the diverse world in which we live. These students have done an excellent job communicating this during our celebration of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday and at Culture Pot and morning meetings. They have also facilitated roundtable discussions and led Student Diversity Leadership Conference workshops. In this, I am sure we are all very proud of them. For the past 2 years, the role of co-president has been anchored by Brian Garcia and Ben Crew. And they have done a fantastic job setting the bar high for those who will follow them. Christian Condi has done a great job this year performing as vice president, and next year Christian will take on a new position as the co-head of the Culture Pot, along with Sekou Brown and co-vice presidents Eric Gary and Elijah Blackwell. Will you please come to the stage?
I would now like to introduce Jianbu Shi, our K Club president.
Almost every visitor to the Kiski school meets a tour guide who is a member of the K Club. For many of our guests, these tour guides create a critical first impression. Most of you here today toured our campus or attend class with a K Club member. Students are selected for membership in this important service organization based on their congeniality, their devotion to the school, their willingness to give some of their free time to host visitors and to help introduce them to Kiski. The K Club is organized, trained, and led by the head tour guides. Would the following gentlemen please stand? Ryan Brett, Griffin Donahue, Ben Foster, Aidan Gillespie, Edgar Mercado, and Kyle Wazinski. This young man served as our head tour guides and deserve to be recognized for their hard work. It is now my pleasure to introduce the newly elected head tour guides. Please approach the stage for your ping. Arch Kingbar, Jimmy Lee, Garris Kohat, Max Mears, Ian Ross, Kobe Short, Luca Vendetti. The president of the K Club is a very important part of our efforts to make our guests feel welcomed and to help interested family learn more about the school we love. Please join me in honoring the president of the K Club for 2019-12, Kobe Shorts. I would now like to invite Brian Garcia to the stage.
Would the current head waiters please join me on stage? Current waiters are Felix Enrique, Lucas Infani, Olean Kajimba, Jonathan Lady, Jack Mack, Pedro Silva, and Yes Sun. Fancy flowers. Oh, no fancy flower for me? Sure. Might as well. I mean, I'm not going to put it on, but anyways. The position of head waiter at Kiski is one with a long tradition. Much like in the same way the prefects assist in dorms, classes, and on the athletic field, these boys assist both other boys and the faculty in the dining hall. They are the catalyst that makes the dining hall a smooth running operation. They carry out the many small tasks that make the dining hall experience at Kiski unique and very positive part of the overall Kiski experience. One note that I'd like to add is that we also take care of classes when no one's over there. It is with great pride that I announce the following appointments to the position of head waiter for the 2019-2020 school year. Christian Kondi, Carl Capadia, Reja Chu, Addison Shapiro, JP Swazi, Ayuat Tamtai, and Gao Yuan Zhang. Please come to the stage. Did I pronounce your name right? Almost done there? There we go. All right. Yeah, give him a hand. All right, wait a second. All right. Furthermore, please join me in congratulating our new maitre d', Nick Darrington. So you'll get this flower now. Saved for you. Put it on you right here. Put that on you. Get this right first. There we go. Thank you. Yep. One more round of applause. Ben Crew will now present prefect appointments.
The role of prefect is one of the most coveted and respected leadership roles at Kiski. The skills and talents of the prefects go beyond being good students and good friends. These are the boys who help to keep the school running smoothly on a daily basis through their leadership. Without the prefects, Kiski would not be the great place to learn and live that it is today. In the past few years, the prefect system has evolved into a system that is very effective at what it does, but as with everything in life, it needs to be constantly updated. It is my hope and belief that this next group of prefects will go above and beyond what is expected of them to bring this change to Kiski. It is now my honor to introduce to you next year's group of prefects. As I call your name, please come up to the stage, receive your pen, and then remain standing on stage. Please hold your applause until the last name is called. Senior prefects for the 2019-2020 school year: Tim Bergarts, Caleb Commandant, Nick Darrington, Patrick Jacob, Corbin Kohut, Garris Kohut, Jian Lee, Grant Lumley, Darcy Marshall, Reed Moore, Dylan Pettis, Ryan Pettis, Christopher Rubino, Kobe Schwartz, Christian Spahn, Alexander Stewart, Quinn Summers, Joseph Swazi, Zihao Tang, Micah Tillman, Luca Venditti, and Tianyang Zhu. Rising junior prefects for the 2019-2020 school year: Antonio Delascio, Alexander Gardner, Eric Gary, Caleb Leachalk, Yulin Wang, and Xiaoyu Zhao. The Clifford Brett Award is given to the member of the junior class who has been elected the next head prefect of the Kiski School. Please join me in congratulating next year's head prefect, Patrick Jacob.
I would like to invite Mr. Perry, Chair of the Honor and Disciplinary Council, to present next year's appointments.
Good evening. The Honor and Discipline Council meets to review cases that have been referred to the Dean of Students or the Director of Studies. Faculty and students are part of the council. I'd like to take a moment to have the members of this year's council stand and be recognized for their hard work. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I am now pleased to announce that the following students have been appointed to Kiski's Honor and Discipline Council for the 2019-20 school year. Please come to the stage to receive your pin. Christopher Rubino, Patrick Jacob, Hoishen Wu, Yulin Wang, Ben Nauenberg, Nick Darrington, Joseph Swazi, Dylan Pettis, Jonathan Van Nostrand, Mark Showbridge, Kobe Schwartz, Max Mears. Yes. Amani Clark Bay. Robert Burr. And Jihan Lee. Ladies and gentlemen, next year's members of the HDC.
I'm very pleased to introduce this afternoon's speaker, Mr. Muffley, who will retire next month after 35 years of service to Kiski. They are definitely applauding because of the service, not because you're leaving. That's for sure. We love you. During his distinguished tenure, he's demonstrated a deep and abiding love for this school, for his colleagues, and especially for the boys in his care. Mr. Muffley has served in a number of different roles, including English teacher, dorm master, athletic director, and varsity coach for basketball, football, and track. We're grateful for the talents he shared over the years, and we'll certainly miss his presence on campus when he retires in a few weeks. Please join me in welcoming this afternoon's speaker, Mr. Andrew Muffley.
Thank you, Mr. Bruningson, and thank you for those kind words, although I'm not certain that I'm at all deserving. Welcome guests, parents, faculty, and students. It's truly an honor to speak to you this afternoon. Almost exactly a year ago, I listened to Mr. Lombardo stand on this very same spot and give the same address as he was about to retire. It was at that point that I knew it would probably be my turn, as this was going to be my final year at Kiski. It was also then that I started to get nervous, although I'm not sure why. I've been in front of audiences for the past 35 years. It's a little different, however, when you're addressing 16 and 17-year-olds and you realize that most of them aren't paying attention anyway. Nevertheless, I'm pleased to be able to say a few words, and I thank Mr. B for this opportunity. I thought long and hard about the content of the speech and decided to talk about civic responsibility and how Kiski fosters that quality. But honestly, what I'm going to say, you've already heard before. And you've already put some of these points into practice. There's nothing new here. Consider it a reminder of all the things that we've tried to teach you. I also thought about doling out advice to parents and faculty, as I have some experience in those two roles, but this would be highly presumptuous on my part. Also, this speech will probably be too long as it is. I want to ensure you that you all be home in time to watch the season finale of Game of Thrones. So I'll spare the parents and faculty, however, not so much the Kiski boys. We're talking about civic responsibility, to be the best citizen that you can be. Civic responsibility in your house or dorm, in your school or workplace, in the community, the nation, and beyond. The best way to talk about it is to break it down into some of its parts. One of those pieces is leadership. Kiski has done an outstanding job of providing those opportunities. We have weekends dedicated solely to leadership activities. We host a leadership conference every spring, drawing boys from independent schools around the area. Our prefect system is a wonderful vehicle to display leadership qualities. Every day, you have many opportunities to lead in the classroom, during athletics, in the dorms, on trips, in clubs. Embrace that role. The concept of volunteerism then comes to mind. You have so many opportunities here as well, thanks to the hard work of Ms. Ackward, to volunteer and serve the community. Volunteerism breeds a culture of empathy and humility. I'll speak about humility in a minute. Service to others is one of our greatest tools in creating change. An additional piece of civic responsibility is civility. By civility, I mean politeness and courtesy in behavior and speech. Your dorm, school, and community thrive on civility. Every day we expect nothing less than good manners and politeness from all of our citizens. Respect for yourself and each other are foundations for the success of any organization. Hard work is also a key part of your civic duty. We keep you extremely busy throughout much of your day. Classes, meals, sports, meetings, assemblies, evening study halls, and on and on. By the end of the day, you're exhausted. You should be proud of yourselves. Think of all the things you accomplish in a day. Our former headmaster, Mr. Pigeon, once said something very profound about hard work. He said the happiest days of his life were spent while he was pushed to the limit, exhausted by the amount of work he had to do. However, he never realized how happy he was during those times until the work was completed and he looked back in retrospect. There's something very rewarding about being taken out of your comfort zone and completing a seemingly insurmountable task. You may feel miserable at the time, but when all is said and done, the feeling of accomplishment and pride will be abundantly clear. Understanding diversity and its value is another crucial ingredient to becoming civically responsible. Look around this room. How much more diverse can an institution be? We have students from all walks of life, all ethnicities, all religions, all races, all lifestyle choices, all different talents, all political leanings. This isn't accidental. This diverse environment instills outstanding qualities in all of us. Many problems in our nation, our world, would disappear if we would learn that differences in people and populations are healthy. Bigotry and hatred most often spring from the lack of understanding of others that are not like us. You have such an advantage coming from such a diverse population. Once again, I'll refer to a portion of a speech that Mr. Pigeon gave, explaining one of the things that Kiski does best. He compared our school to a rock tumbler, a device that takes several rocks with sharp edges, puts them together in a cylinder, and tumbles them over each other until those sharp edges are gone. It's similar to what our diverse population does for each of us. We are placed into this metaphorical rock tumbler, and eventually our rough edges are polished to a smooth finish. Pretty accurate analogy. Maintaining a healthy lifestyle is another part of civic responsibility. I'm not speaking strictly about physical health, but emotional health as well. They pretty much go hand in hand. Kiski provides a healthy environment. We require you to get into and out of bed in a timely manner. And at this point, I need to say some of you are still struggling with this. The right amount of sleep is so important. We ask you to practice good hygiene habits. Keeping your living space neat and orderly is part of this. We provide many opportunities for, for exercise and recreation. Many of you complain about required sports, but someday you'll see the benefits of regular exercise. Find a routine to keep yourself fit, as far into your life as possible. Bike, swim, jog, do yoga, walk. Use technology, and I'm going to keep going here, in a responsible way. This too is part of a healthy lifestyle. We live in a culture where technological advancement is moving forward at warp speed. And I understand we all have to keep up with these changes. However, several studies have cautioned us about too much screen time. Heed these warnings. Close the lids. Silence your phones. Better yet, shut them off. Turn off the TV. Read a book. Visit a friend. Take a walk. Shop at an actual brick and mortar store. anything that'll keep you occupied and away from a screen. There's so much out there to be experienced that doesn't involve a screen. Some of you only know how to shoot a basketball or how to throw a baseball on a video game. Get out and actually do these things. Give something besides your thumb some exercise. What do physical and emotional health have to do with civic responsibility, you ask? Without physical and emotional health, just like an individual, a society will become ill and ineffective. It won't grow and develop as it should. How about humility as a segment of civic responsibility? This is where I get on my soapbox, especially concerning sports and sportsmanship. Today, it seems as if everyone wants to take the credit for the positive and no one the blame for the bad. It's no secret that the best coaches take the blame for their team's losses and give credit to their players and assistants for the wins. I'm so tired of watching professional athletes who, when they make a three-point shot, run down the court with 3 fingers in the air. How about just hustling back to the other end and playing good, solid defense? Or the running back who performs some silly end zone routine after a score. How about handing the football to the official and returning to the sideline to get ready to do it again? Some call it swagger. I call it arrogance. Boasting about your exploits or trash talking are extremely unbecoming as well. Let your game do the talking. These bad behaviors at the professional level are unnecessary and worse, have made their way to colleges and high schools. It's so refreshing to know that our coaches teach our athletes to respect opponents, officials, fans, and most importantly, the game itself, remaining humble throughout. Humility is an endearing quality. People think more highly of individuals who don't take themselves too seriously, who accept responsibility for mistakes, and who don't lay blame on others. Learn to laugh at yourselves. No, learn to make fun of yourselves. Humility will earn you respect and admiration as quickly as any other personal trait. One last point I'd like to make about civic responsibility, and that is for each of you to develop a passion. Find your passion and chase it. If you love running, acting, building things, mentoring, hunting, fishing, writing, drawing, playing the piano, pursue those activities passionately. Besides being famous for their great accomplishments, what do Mother Teresa, Winston Churchill, Ernest Hemingway, Mahatma Gandhi, Leonardo da Vinci, and Duke Ellington have in common? They all contributed to society in a positive way by discovering their passions early and pursuing them vehemently. I truly believe that you have it in you to create positive change. Once again, these are all just reminders of lessons already learned and what we ask of you now and what we will expect of you in the future. Okay, enough of the advice. You'll be getting a lot more of that throughout your lives, so get used to it. I've become long-winded and am beginning to take myself too seriously. It's time to lighten up. Perhaps you've heard the term Kiski boy. I really wanted to explain somehow what a Kiski boy is all about, but I wasn't sure how to do that. I remembered a comedy routine from the mid-90s. The comedian was Jeff Foxworthy, and he coined the phrase, "You might be a redneck if." He would then finish the sentence resourcefully. One example, maybe my favorite, was, "You might be a redneck if you cut your grass and find a car." That reminds me of Mr. O, by the way. So here goes. You might be a Kiski boy if you've been rousted out of bed by a certain security guard. If you've been late to class because you were a waiter, you might be a Kiski boy. You might be a Kiski boy if you were asked to turn your hat around. If you went to the restroom to check your phone, you might be a Kiski boy. You might be a Kiski boy if you know what MNRMH stands for. You might be a Kiski boy if you still use the term podium instead of blackbaud. If you have No Fear Shakespeare bookmarked, or if you have learned curse words in Chinese, Spanish, German, Portuguese, and Danish you might be a Kiski boy. If you've been handed a disposable razor during class and told to go back and shave, you might be a Kiski boy. If you were ready to pitch a fit when you discovered there was no Kiski chili, you might be a Kiski boy. You might be a Kiski boy if you overuse, or worse, misuse the word literally. If you have taken a ride on a van for 3 hours, played in a 2-hour contest, and gotten back on that van for a 2-hour trip home, you might be a Kiski boy. You might be a Kiski boy if you know what the acronyms ACT, DISH, and ASH stand for. Some of you know those better than others. You might be a Kiski boy if you knew ahead of time that the speaker on stage was about to say, study hall in 15 minutes. If you have learned to appreciate cheesy 70s music between innings, or have spent most of a Saturday afternoon looking for baseballs in the weeds, you might be a Kiski boy. If you act like a kid in a candy store when the phrases free day or spring schedule are uttered, you might be a Kiski boy. You might be a Kiski boy if you've ever been told to go play in traffic, or have been asked if you want a knuckle sandwich. Boy, I miss that guy. And finally, if you've dragged yourself out of bed at 5:30, gone to morning practice, showered, dressed into a coat and tie, completed a chem lab, discussed The Great Gatsby, sat in on morning meeting, edited your history paper, gone to lunch, collected the glasses after lunch, were scolded for being late to the next class, drew a sketch of the classroom building, solved some algebra problems, attended an athletic practice, went back to your dorm to shower, changed your clothes, attended sit-down dinner, sat in Rogers for a musical presentation, returned to the dorm for a study hall, and plopped back down in your bed again, you absolutely are a Kiski boy. Let me take a deep breath after that. I've rambled on long enough, and I see the headmaster reaching for the hook. That's the figurative hook, by the way. So I better wrap this up. I could go on and on, so much advice to give in so little time. However, I'm not quite done. I'd like to give a shout out to certain deserving people. Hats off to all of you receiving awards and recognition today and later this week at the senior banquet. Your hard work and dedication have not gone unnoticed. Congratulations to a fellow retiree, Mr. Yoder. I've known Mr. Yoder for about 40 years, and he remains a good friend. His teaching style is legendary. He absolutely understands what it takes to connect with boys in the classroom. As far as his coaching, I was only able to assist him for a few seasons in the spring, track that is. I've never seen anyone as knowledgeable and organized as he when putting a track program together. Most non-track people don't understand how difficult it is to organize and run a track team. Putting bodies in the right events to maximize the team's chances of winning is not easy. He made it look that way. Many of you may not know it, but he and I are almost exactly the same age. You were probably fooled by how much older he looks than I. Perhaps it's all that white hair. He even has white hair on the top of his head. Can you imagine? Congratulations again, Mr. Yoder, for a wonderful career. Kiski was lucky to have you and will miss you for sure. A note of thanks to several people. Mr. Orsatti, Senior O, you have been a trusted friend since day one of my time here at Kiski. That was a long time ago. Our hairlines and waistlines are a testament to that. You've had my back all these years. We've gone through many highs and lows together, and you've never wavered in your friendship. Thank you for being a great friend and a confidant. Everybody knows his classroom and mine are adjacent, and the walls in Heath are pretty thin. I need to tell you, Senor, that the Latino music that you play in your room is okay. However, when you join in and sing along with the songs. Don't wait around the phone waiting for American Idol to call. You must have heard at one point or another the laughter and snide comments coming from the other side of the wall. And some of them weren't even mine. Thanks to all the students, special thanks to all the students, past and present, for allowing me to teach you, coach you, supervise you in the dorm and at the dining room, to advise you, to announce your name after making a tackle or as you step to the plate. Thank you for letting me instruct you in the correct way to shoot a basketball, how to write a research paper, and how to read and appreciate Shakespeare. You and your predecessors have taught me so much more than I've ever taught you. Some simple math at this point, and simple is as much as I can handle in math. Let's say every year 75 new students arrive at Kiski. I think that's a good guess. Take that number times 35 years. That totals about 2,500 students that have come through Kiski in those 35 years. That's how many teachers, instructors, coaches I've had throughout my career here at Kiski. An astonishing number. My growth as a teacher, instructor, and coach happened because of you. I'm so grateful to all of you. Finally, for my family, my 2 daughters and my wife of 34 years, thank you for your steadfast support. There were some late nights, some weekends that I was gone, sometimes a whole week to Canada for football preseason. You always understood and never complained. I saw a meme on Facebook the other day about being a parent. Yes, I have a Facebook account, and no, I won't accept you as a friend until after you graduate. That meme rung true for my daughters and probably for most children. It states, parenting is wanting to be with your child forever 1 minute and being tempted to sell them the next. Someone then immediately commented, sell? I'd be willing to give them away. A comment like that's completely uncalled for. They have to be worth something. They know I'm kidding. Their mother and I are very proud of the young ladies that they have become. Kiski's an ideal place to raise a family. A pool, tennis and basketball courts in my front yard, and a golf course and track in my backyard. Now that I'm leaving campus, I must confess that we have never locked our doors in 35 years. We leave our car keys in the ignition. One couldn't ask for a safer place to call home. I see each of you looking around. After that disclosure, I suppose I should lock my doors until we leave. I'm not big on publicly displaying my affections, but I'd like to make an exception here for my wife, Debbie. Marrying you almost 34 years ago was the best thing that ever happened to me. Your love and support have sustained me all these years. You did a wonderful job at raising our 2 daughters and keeping our household running smoothly. Now that I'll be around more often, I hope that nothing will change and that you won't get sick of me. I love you very much. Okay, one big unified All my life, I've been a huge sports fan, and when we met, she didn't know if football or basketball was pumped or stuffed. Towards the end of my career, she had become an expert analyst. I'd get home and she would say things like, you should have put more pressure on the quarterback, or you should have switched into a 2-3 zone at the end of the game. A little knowledge is dangerous. But you know, very often she was right. About 10 years ago, the first of a long line of sons of former students and athletes whom I had taught or coached started arriving on campus. Names like Bretts, Gardners, Jacobs, Jernigans, Kendalls, Pettises. By the way, they're the only set of twins that I could ever tell apart. The Kohats, still can't tell them apart. The Santinellis, the Skinas, the Stewarts, the Silagis, the Van Nostrands. When all of these legacies started to show up, I began to consider retirement. I figure it's time to go before the grandsons start showing up. Congratulations to the seniors. We'll get to celebrate your accomplishments again in a few days. And finally, good luck to everyone on your finals. Thank you again for your kind attention.
Okay, now we're out of time. Game of Thrones starts in 15 minutes. Just kidding. That was fantastic. Well done, Mr. Muffley. And spoiler alert, I have an award to give out now. I'm pleased to present the Clyde Sleece Teaching Prize, which is given to a member of the faculty each year ever since 2007. This award is given to a teacher who, in the opinion of his colleagues, has made a significant impact on the boys he teaches and has thorough knowledge of the subject matter and sincere interest in his students. The winner of this year's Clyde Sleece Teaching Prize is Andrew Muffley.
Thank you.
It is my pleasure to introduce Jimmy Lee, co-editor of the 2019 yearbook.
On behalf of the 2019 yearbook staff, Ms. Sherrier and Mr. Jennings, I would like to first thank everyone for their continued support for Kiski Minneton. By giving your best performance on the athletic field, doing your best in the classrooms, and creating wonderful memories in the dorms, you all have showcased the finest qualities of a Kiski boy. This year's theme is This Is Us. We have recorded all these incredible moments that represent who we are as a community, and we are proud to finally present it to you all. This year, we would like to thank one individual especially. Joining the Kiski community in 2006, she has always been a smiling face on campus and a pleasant person to talk to. Besides working in the college counseling's office, she spent most of her time at Kiski as a yearbook advisor. Through her contributions and guidance, the yearbook staff was able to present many wonderful books to the Kiski community over the past 12 years. On behalf of the faculty and the entire student body, I would like to thank Mrs. Kwiatek for her years of service to our school. Now, please welcome Mrs. Jem Kwiatek to the stage to receive the first copy of the 2019 yearbook, which we would like to dedicate to her.
Congratulations, Jen. Will's Gift is an award created by David Conrad, class of 1985, to honor William Turley, one of the most beloved and talented teachers in Kiski's history. We're very pleased to have Mr. Conrad with us here today to present this award. David?
Hi, I was running because I know it's the end, right? I'm it. I'm the last speaker, and none of you get this award. Well, almost. But yeah, I'm class of '85. Gentlemen, it's almost over. One more week. It's a special week for all of you. A really special week for seniors. I remember it very, very well. Will's gift has been around for a decade. I'm sorry, I'm the one who filled your school with art. It's all over the walls. I'm sure it gets in the way. I'm sure a lot of you don't like it. If you don't like it, it raises the equity of the school about $250,000, so you're very welcome to write a check, and I'll take it all down. But thank you, actually, for tolerating me appearing in your offices, the walls outside your school, I mean, your classrooms, moving things around, drilling things in your walls. I appreciate it. My intent was never to make someone an artist or insist other people should be artists. It was simply to surround you in the same way that you're surrounded with academic excellence, with teaching excellence, with athletic excellence, is that you'd be surrounded with the best of the art of this region and take it for granted, that it's just something you see every day, which is kind of the way your Kiski life is that the amount of work you do, which you now take for granted, as so well described by Mr. Muffley, that kind of work, the fact that you're used to that at 16 years old, will take you a long way. Another word about the arts, if you do take it for granted, I've known several people in my life who died young, some of them who die old. They forgot their jobs, some of them forgot the names of their friends, loved ones, children. The last things they ever remembered were the music they learned, the songs they learned, a poem they may have learned as a senior, so be careful where you put your energies. Anyhow, Will's gift is named after Bill Turley. He was a magisterial member, influence in my life, a tremendous teacher. His painting is when you go into the dining hall, he's right in the middle there. He was a math teacher, and I named an art award after a math teacher. We've been doing it for a decade. We give out a cash award and what was a plaque to an artist somewhere in western Pennsylvania who we thought wasn't represented well by the gallery system and didn't make a lot of money. We've been doing that for a decade now, and this would be the 11th year. I named it after Mr. Turley, Bill. It's funny, I never called him Bill to his face, I think. Because, well, Professor Bruningson Professor Neumeister put it well, which was that the ethic of the Cum Laude Society is possibly excellence, but not necessarily about winning. It's about decency and justice, what is just. And hopefully what you take away from the school are those qualities. I've known Academy Award winners, Super Bowl winners, Stanley Cup winners, many of whom couldn't hold up a candle to the quality of other people in my life who were decent, who were just, who were fair, and good to their fellow people. I hope that's what you carry with you. That's what Bill Turley hammered away at us. He was also a brilliant, brilliant man. And so I wanted to name what I would think was brilliance done simply for the sake of joy. You dribble a basketball for joy. You draw for joy. And so I thought I act because I love doing it. I sing because it's a joyful experience. Bill reminded me he used to do calculus problems the long way because he thought they were more beautiful than the most efficient way. I will always remember that. So Will's gift is named after him. I'm standing in front of the last bunch of teachers I ever had. There's one of them. I ran down these stairs, Mr. Yoder, just to prove to you that I could still run. That's about as far as I can get. Mr. Muffley, you never taught me, but I passed you in the halls, and you pretty much said it all in your speech. Thank you. Oh, you're the last one left, man, so stick around. All right, Will's gift. It's a plaque, or it was a plaque, and it's a $2,500 check. This is where I failed today. So the headmaster's imperious assistant, executive secretary, wrote me and said, "Are you bringing a check, right?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm bringing a big cardboard one." She writes me back, "The headmaster wants to 86 that idea." I said, "Oh, it was a joke. I'm just going to bring a check." Right, so I left the check in my house. So today I'm distributing an IOU. Yeah, the check's in the mail, huh? And what's even more interesting is that we usually had a plaque for the last decade. Well, this year's winner has a particular talent and also a particular place in this world, and I suggested to him, well, why don't we get
the students of the place in which you teach to design that award every year. So without giving too much away, you guys will be designing the award for Will's Gift from here on out as long as I can fund it. So this year's award, I stole one of your spoons. And I wrote Will's Gift 2019 on it. Here's the IOU. Usually this is the period where we give the long speech about all their achievements. I was this year's recipients. We were in the same class together. We graduated together. He was always a calm presence in the hallways. In a land of much, much stress, you guys know well, Andrew always walked down the street or the hallway looking kind of calm. He was a mean bass player. He went on to be a tremendous painter at CMU. And really the ethic of why we suddenly woke up and went, wait a minute, we've been giving this award away to people in Western PA, folks on the streets out there who we barely knew. And then I thought, well, it's right there in front of me. Will's Gift was about service. It's about labor. It's about work. It's about less words and let's show you. It's about the reason why you all stood up when Mr. Muffley ended his speech, because you know how much work he gave for you. I can't think of an artist who, in this community, by the sort of very nature of his behavior, what he's done, what he's brought to you all, what he makes you make, what he makes you build, how he teaches you to use your hands. That to me is the ethic of what this gift, what this award has always been, and also what impresses me about the arts. So Will's Gift 2019 goes to Andy Scott.
All right, buddy.
Thank you very much, Dave.
Yep. I'm really excited because I got to go last, thanks a lot, Mr. Headmaster, but I get to introduce the headmaster because it's now his closing remarks. Mr. Bruningson, the wizard that keeps the school rolling, the son of a steel worker, here he is.
Allow me to offer my congratulations to Mr. Scott and to all of the students we honored here this afternoon for their hard work and all of their great accomplishments. A school is only as good as its students, and we're especially grateful to all of you for your dedication and everything you do to make Kiski a strong academic institution. This time of year is always happy and sad at the same time. This occasion marks the last time we'll formally gather as a school, and it's the last assembly in which our underclassmen and seniors will participate together. Collectively, we have a great deal of affection for the class of 2019. It's a great group of seniors, and I'd like to invite you to join me in thanking the class of 2019 for everything they've given to Kiski as we extend our very best wishes to them in their college careers. Today we're saying goodbye to some faculty and staff members who are leaving Kiski at the end of this school year to pursue new opportunities. Mrs. Ma, Mr. McGuire, Mr. Jennings, Mr. Ramsden, Mr. Price, and Mr. Bello. I'd like to invite these colleagues to stand and allow us to show our appreciation for everything you've done for Kiski. And last but not least, we're saying goodbye to two Kiski legends this year, Mr. Muffley and Mr. Yoder. Now, let me just say that we're having a special dinner in their honor the week after next, where we'll have a chance to, I want to say celebrate them, but let's be honest, we're going to roast you mercilessly. But in there, we'll certainly express our appreciation for everything you both have done for our school. But for today, it's appropriate for sure to recognize both of you, with a combined tenure of nearly 3/4 of a century. They've had a significant and lasting impact on our school, and I'd like to ask both of them to come up to the stage right now. It's my distinct pleasure to present these two gentlemen with our highest honor, the Kiski Distinguished Service Award. The citation that accompanies this award reads, "In recognition of your remarkable tenure and your steadfast dedication to scholarly pursuits, we proudly present you with this Kiski Distinguished Service Award and confer upon you the title Faculty Member Emeritus with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto." Congratulations.
Hey, we're emeritus now. We can do
Mr. Yoder said, "Hey, we're emeritus now. We can take the shortcut." I'd like to thank all of you for your kind attention this afternoon. Dinner will begin directly following the ceremony. I'd like to wish all of the boys luck on their final exams and ask you to remain seated until the faculty has recessed. Thanks and have a good afternoon.